In the age of social media, a celebrity's reputation feels like it's built on a house of cards. One wrong move, one questionable rebrand, or one really, really bad tweet can bring the whole thing crashing down. But you know what? Not all downfalls are created equal. So let's get into it.
It's a question we're all a little obsessed with, right? How does a star actually fall from grace? Is it like a sudden explosion, or is it more of a slow, painful burn? Is it their own fault, or is it the public finally holding them accountable? Well, the answer is, it's messy. So what we're going to do is break down 4 very different, very recent case studies. Think of them as blueprints for a modern celebrity collapse. We're talking about a rebrand that completely backfired, a petty feud that just spiraled out of control, a full-on ideological meltdown, and finally, a criminal reckoning. All right, first up, the rebrand gone wrong. This is a classic. I'm talking about JoJo Siwa. Now, you remember her, the Nickelodeon star, all glitter and giant hair bows. Well, she decided it was time to grow up and shed that kid-friendly image. The only problem? She went from 0 to 100, leaving everyone with some serious whiplash.
I mean, the shift is just so jarring. You have this image of the girl who sold a gazillion hair bows to tweens, and then, bam, she's trying to be this super aggressive adult provocateur. It's a trap so many child stars fall into, but this transition has been, let's say, spectacularly clumsy. She's kind of pushing away the audience she had without really grabbing a new one.
And this is where it gets really weird. JoJo actually started bragging about all the negative attention she was getting. She was genuinely celebrating the fact that her new music video, Karma, was racking up a record number of dislikes. It's like she thought topping the most hated list was some kind of trophy. Yeah, this is the number she was so proud of. 2.4 million dislikes on her Karma music video. That officially made it the most disliked video from a female artist on YouTube in 2024. See, in her head, any attention is good attention, but to pretty much everyone else, it just looked like a massive public rejection of her new vibe. Oh, but the disconnect from reality didn't stop there. She actually went on The Tonight Show and claimed she'd performed for a record-breaking crowd of 55,000 people at Miami Pride. But of course, the internet has receipts. Videos started popping up online, and the reality looked more like a couple thousand people tops. The gap between what she was saying and what was actually happening just kept getting wider. And this moment right here perfectly sums up the entire problem. During this really explicit, profanity-filled rant on stage, she sees a little kid, a 6-year-old, in the audience. Instead of, maybe toning it down, she points them out and says she loves it. It just shows this complete lack of awareness, and it perfectly highlights the contradiction at the very core of this disastrous rebrand. Okay, next up. We're moving from a failed rebrand to a totally different kind of self-sabotage, the petty feud implosion. This is what happens when a pretty small conflict, fueled by a whole lot of ego, spirals into a full-blown, career-damaging crisis. And our case study here is the YouTuber KSI, who somehow managed to turn his entire fan base against him over a lunchbox. Seriously.
And it all happened so fast. First, he launched this new snack for kids called Lunchly. Okay, fine. But then, another huge YouTuber, Dan TDM, tweeted that he thought the product was crap and basically a cash grab. Now, KSI could have just ignored it. Instead, he had a complete and total meltdown on Twitter, attacking Dan TDM and trying to play the victim.
But this is where it really went off the rails. After days of just unhinged tweeting, he posts what looks like an apology. People are thinking, okay, he's finally coming to his senses. But when his fans clicked the link, it took them to a pre-save page for his new song. He literally tried to monetize his own meltdown. And in the YouTube world, where that community trust is everything, that was the final straw for a lot of people.
Okay, we're shifting gears now and moving into much, much darker territory. This isn't about a bad rebrand or a Twitter fight anymore. This is about a full-blown ideological meltdown, where really extreme and hateful ideas lead to a complete break from the public. And of course, I'm talking about Kanye West.
There's really no way to soften this one. In that infamous interview, Kanye West declared his admiration for Adolf Hitler. This wasn't just another controversy for him. For so many people, this was the absolute point of no return. A line was crossed that you can't uncross.
And the thing is, it was part of this rapid, chaotic escalation. He started selling T-shirts with swastikas on them. He accused Elon Musk of stealing his Nazi swag. He started defending other really controversial figures, posted actual pornography on his X account. and then made that statement about having dominion over his wife. It was just this relentless storm of shocking, indefensible behavior.
And that brings us to our final and most severe path to a downfall, the criminal reckoning. This is where years, sometimes decades, of rumors and whispers finally explode into serious, life-altering legal trouble. The entire empire of Sean Diddy Combs has come crashing down under the weight of federal charges.
And the speed at which this all happened is just stunning. It all really started in November 2023 when his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura filed that lawsuit with these horrific allegations, a lawsuit he settled in just one day. But by March, federal agents were raiding his mansions in LA and Miami, and by September, he was under arrest.
And look, these charges are incredibly serious. This isn't some minor offense. The federal indictment alleges that he ran a criminal enterprise. We're talking racketeering, trafficking, kidnapping, obstruction of justice. These are charges that could put him behind bars for the rest of his life.
And then there's this final, chilling detail that came out from those federal raids. Agents seized over 90 electronic devices, which you'd expect, but they also found over 1,000 bottles of personal lubricant. It's just a grim piece of physical evidence that seems to back up some of the most disturbing allegations that were made in those lawsuits against him.
So when you put all four of these stories together, you get a really complex picture of what's going on. From a really clumsy rebrand all the way to a federal indictment, the ways a star can fall are pretty varied. It really makes you wonder, in this world where everyone is watching all the time, what does real accountability even look like anymore?
And that leads to the final and maybe the most important question. I mean, we've all seen celebrities make comebacks from some pretty bad situations. But in cases this extreme, is there really a path to redemption? Or have we hit a point where some downfalls are, and maybe even should be, permanent? It's definitely something to think about.